Welcome to EduTap and welcome to today's marathon session. So we are conducting the marathon for the IFSCA Grade A examination for your Phase 2 examination, and today we are going to discuss the questions and we are going to test the level of your preparation for your IFSCA Act and Gift City, as well as I have brought some question from your important regulations. Okay. So today let's see that how much you are prepared for the IFSCA Act and Gift City. So give me a thumbs up if everything is audible, if I am clearly audible and visible. So if everything is fine, give me a thumbs up, and I hope you are prepared for today's session. The examination is just around the corner and today is your last marathon with me. Okay. So hello everyone, good evening everyone, and welcome to the session. So give me a thumbs up if everything is fine, if I am clearly audible and visible. And before moving forward, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap and join our Telegram channel, because in the Telegram channel you will get the PDF of the session. Okay. So in the Telegram channel you are going to get the PDF of the session, and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. So let's get started. The first question in front of you is an easy question. So we are starting with a very easy question, and then slowly we will go to the difficult questions also. So the IFSCA, that is the International Financial Services Centers Authority Act 2019, shall apply to the IFSCs set up under the Section 18 of the Special Economic Zone Act of which? So Special Economic Zone Act. This is of which year? Yes, 2005. Very good. So this act shall apply to the Special Economic Zone Act 2005. This act shall apply to the International Financial Services Centers set up under the Section 18 of the Special Economic Zone Act of 2005. So the act, that is the IFSCA Act, will apply to the IFSCs that is set up under the Section 18 of the Special Economic Zone Act of 2005. So there is the Special Economic Zone set up, and under that there will be the International Financial Services Center that will be established. Okay. So now the main aim of establishing the IFSCA is, so which of the following is the aim of establishing the IFSCA? What is the main aim of establishing the IFSCA? So the main aim of establishing the International Financial Services Center assists the regulation of financial institutions by RBI? No. By IRDI? No. By the other regulatory organizations? No. It is for only the foreign institutions? No. To develop. So the main aim of establishing the IFSCA is to develop and regulate the financial services market in the International Financial Services Centers Authority in India. Okay. So the IFSCA has been set up to develop and regulate the financial services market in the IFSCs. So the IFSC, the first IFSC has been established in our country. Where it has been established? Where it has been established? So the International Financial Service Center, the first IFSC in our country, has been established in the Gujarat. Okay. That is known as Gujarat International Finance Tech City. Okay. So this is the idea. So E is the right answer here. In the basis of the act, you can understand that the act, this is the IFSC Act, that provides for the establishment of an authority to develop and regulate the financial services market in the IFSCs in India and for matters connected therewith. Okay. Yes. So now the IFSCA, it has subsumed the power of RBI, SEBI, PFRDA and IRDI in the IFSC. So even if we talk about the insurance companies, even if we are talking about the banks, even if we are talking about the capital market intermediaries, if they are established in the International Financial Service Center, the IFSCA has the complete authority. The IFSCA has the complete authority on the financial institutions that are established in the IFSC. So IFSCA is the regulator of the IFSCs and looks after and regulates all the financial institutions that are present in the IFSC. Okay. So now coming to the next question, which among the following is included in the definition of financial product as per the IFSCA Act 2019? So try to answer this question. Take your time and try to answer this question. Let's see how many of you are able to answer. Okay. So here, okay, so I'm getting the answer A. So Nilesh has given the answer A. Sujit has given the answer A. That is absolutely correct. So the financial products include the securities, the contract of insurance, the deposits. It does not include the foreign currency contracts that are including the spot exchange of one currency for another. Okay. Why is it so? It includes the foreign currency contracts, but it does not include the foreign currency contracts that are on the current or immediate basis. Okay. So this is the idea. That's why this statement is wrong, because the foreign currency contracts that are on the immediate basis, they are not allowed, or they are not under the term of the financial product. So this is the idea, that financial product means securities, contract of insurance, deposit, credit arrangement. Foreign currency contracts also comes under the financial product, other than or excluding the contracts to exchange one currency for another that are settled immediately or that are on the immediate basis. So I hope this is understandable, that the foreign currency contracts are allowed, but if they are settled on the immediate basis, so that ones they are not allowed. So the spot contracts, they are not allowed for the exchange of one currency to another currency. Now financial services. So all of these are the financial services, the buying and selling or subscribing to a financial product, the acceptance of deposit. So if a bank, if the IFSC banking unit is accepting the deposits, so IFSC banking unit, that is your IBU, is providing the service of accepting the deposits. Okay. Safeguarding, administrating the assets consisting of financial products. So you can understand that these all are the services. I will provide you a question on the services so that you have the understanding that what kind of question can come. Okay. Now, which among the following establishes the IFSC authority as per the IFSCA 2019? So, which among the following establishes the International Financial Service Center Authority as per the International Financial Services Center Authority Act? Will be. So, the IFSCA is a body corporate that have the perpetual succession. So the authority is not like that it will work for only 5 years and then it will vanish. No, it has perpetual succession. That means it will continue. The authority is going to be continued, and it has a common seal and subject to the provisions of the IFSCA Act. So International Financial Services Authority, it will function as per the IFSCA Act of 2019. So this is the basic idea. The head office of the authority shall be at such place as the central government decides, and the authority may, with the prior approval of central government, establish its offices at other places in India or outside India. So currently it has the office in Gujarat in the gift city, but it can establish its office at other places in India or outside India. So which among the following statement is correct with respect to the chairperson and a member of the IFSCA? So they are not eligible for reappointment, they are eligible for reappointment. Okay. Yes, B is correct here. So here the chairperson and a member shall hold office for a term of 3 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. So the chairman, they are eligible for the reappointment. Yes. So the chairperson and a member, they are eligible for the reappointment on which they hold their office for a term of 3 years and they are eligible for the reappointment. The salaries, allowances payable to and other terms and condition other than the ex officio members shall be such as may be prescribed. Okay. So this is the basic idea. Now coming to the next question. So this is the question regarding the members of the authority. So read the question very carefully and try to answer the question. Okay. So try to answer the question. Okay, so here the correct answer is there should be only one chairperson. That is absolutely correct. 2 members each has to be appointed by the 4 regulators ex officio only. No, only one member has to be nominated by the 4 regulators. And which are the 4 regulators? Can anyone tell me that which are the 4 regulators? So there should be only one chairperson, 1 member each to be nominated by the 4 regulators, that is RBI, SEBI, IRDI and PFRDA, and ex officio only. That means these members that are nominated, they have the position in the designated authorities. Okay, that is RBI, SEBI, PFRDA and IRDI. 2 members from amongst the officials of the ministry dealing with finance to be nominated by the central government. They should also be the ex officio. The 2 other members to be appointed by the central government on the recommendation of a selection committee. So all the other statements are correct, but only the B1 was incorrect. Very good. So B was the incorrect statement, and here you can see that these are the like the members that the authority will have: a chairperson, 1 member each to be nominated by RBI, SEBI, IRDI, PFRDA, and they should be ex officio members. Okay. Next is the appropriate regulator described in the schedule of the IFSCA Act 2019 are which of the following? So which are the following comes under the terminology of appropriate regulator? So as per the IFSCA Act, which of the following can be said to be the appropriate regulator when the Act was framed or when the terminology was used in the Act? So it is the RBI and SEBI, not NABARD and SIDBI. No. So yes, correct. Everyone is giving the right answer. So only the RBI. So here the appropriate regulator has been defined, or they have been stated in the Act. So appropriate regulator as per the IFSCA Act, there is the appropriate regulator, that is the terminology that is used for RBI, SEBI, IRDI and PFRDA. Okay. So this you must know about. Next is coming to the financial services. So which among the following statements is or are correct with respect to the IFSCA Act 2019? Providing information about a person's financial standing or creditworthiness is not one of the financial service. Underwriting the issuance or underwriting the subscription of a financial product is one of the financial service. So which of the following statements seems to be correct? So the providing information about a person's financial standing or creditworthiness is not one of the financial service. So this is wrong. Even the credit rating agencies that are providing the information about a person's financial standing or creditworthiness, the credit rating agencies, they are providing services. They are providing the services, right? So even so this is wrong because it should not be. The not should not be mentioned. Okay. So second and third statements are correct. Only the second and third statements are correct. Okay. So the first one was wrong. The first one was wrong because providing the information about a person's financial standing or creditworthiness is one of the financial services. It is one of the financial services. Okay. So first is wrong. The second and third is correct. So here you can see that underwriting the issuance or subscription of a financial product, that is if a financial product is being released, that is deposits are being taken, or let's say credit, or there is the financial contracts that are being signed, financial currency contracts are being signed. So some entity, some financial institution can underwrite these financial currency contract. So underwriting of the contracts can happen. So underwriting of the contracts can happen, and the underwriting the issuance or subscription of the financial product, so this can happen. Okay. So this is correct, as well as the providing the information about a person's financial standing or creditworthiness. So this is what the credit rating agencies do. They provide the information about the person's financial standing or creditworthiness. Credit rating agencies provide the credit rating, that how good a person is in regards to the financial history, or how bad the credit score is, how bad the credit history of the person is. Okay. Now GIFT SEZ Limited has been formed by Dash for the development of multi-services SEZ at Gandhinagar. So which of the following institutions or which of the following limited or the board or corporation has been established for the development of the multi-services SEZ at Gandhinagar? So GIFT SEZ Limited has been formed by GIFTCL, that is Gujarat International Finance Tech City Company Limited, for the development of multi-services SEZ at Gandhinagar. Okay. So it is A. A is the right answer here, that GIFT SEZ Limited has been formed by GIFTCL. Now next is, which among the following has been introduced for the first time in India for commercial use? So is it the certified tier 4 green data center, automated waste collection system, district cooling system, underground utility tunnel, fault tolerant optical fiber ring infrastructure? So that is your district cooling system. Your district cooling system has been introduced for the first time in India for commercial use. So yes, the answer is C here, The answer is C here. So here you can see that district cooling system has been introduced for the first time in India for commercial use, and there are different benefits that are being provided in the gift city. So these are the benefits, or these are the state of the art infrastructure, the best kind of infrastructure that is being used in the gift city. Okay. Now the next one is that which among the following statement is or are correct with respect to the zones in the gift city. So rupee denominated transactions are not allowed in the domestic tariff area. So there is a domestic tariff area. In that domestic tariff area, there is the rupee denominated transactions that are not allowed. Then there is the domestic tariff area where the rupee transactions are allowed. So which of the following is correct? As well as gift city has two zones, that is including the domestic tariff area and the multi-service special economic zone. So here, yes, very good. The first statement is wrong. Domestic tariff area is the normal area of our country where we are doing the rupee transactions, or we are doing the transactions based on rupee. I am giving you rupees, you are giving me some material. So that is in the domestic tariff area. It is the general area of the country where the rupee denominated transactions are happening. Now, so this second statement was correct and the first statement is wrong. Gift city has two zones. One is domestic tariff area and one is multi-service special economic zone with International Financial Service Center. In the multi-service special economic zone, there is the gift IFSC that is present. Okay. So this is the idea. So 2 and 3, these statements were correct. First one was wrong and moved can be heard under which of the following circumstances. So if the member has been adjudicated as insolvent, there is a opportunity that is provided to the member to be heard. Okay, so that's why the D was the answer. Now next one is that the IFSCA is mandated to submit a report giving a true and full account of its activities during the previous financial year within how many days after the end of each financial year. So IFSCA has to provide a report of its functioning, the true and full account. So it has to provide this report after the end of the financial year. So it has to Is it buffering? Is it buffering? Like, is it buffering? Yes or no? Now is it fine? Okay. So the answer is 90 days. 90 days. Okay. So this is the basic idea that within 90 days after the finish of the financial year, there is the report that has to be submitted. Okay. So without prejudice to the provisions of the first subsection, the authority shall within 90 days after the end of each financial year submit to the central government a report in such form as may be prescribed, giving a true and full account of its activities, policies as well as programs during the previous financial year. So the timeline that is provided is 90 days, and this has to be put in, a copy of the report has to be laid down in front of the houses of the parliament. Okay, so this is the idea. Yes. Now the central government can supersede, the central government can take over the IFSCA, that is the International Financial Service Center Authority, for a period not exceeding how many months as per the IFSCA Act of 2019. Very good, very good. 6 months. So central government can supersede the IFSCA for the period of 6 months, or for the period that is not exceeding 6 months. Okay. So this is the idea. So the power of central government to supersede authority. So there is the power that is provided to the central government to supersede the authority, the IFSCA, on account of circumstances where the IFSCA is unable to discharge the functions or performance duties, where the IFSCA has defaulted in complying with any direction of the central government, or it has not performed its function as per the Act, where the financial position of the authority has deteriorated, or the financial position of the authority or the administration of the authority has deteriorated, or in the case where the where it is necessary in the public interest to remove the authority. So in any of these cases, the central government can supersede the IFSCA but for not exceeding 6 months. Okay, that is only for a period up to 6 months, not exceeding 6 months. Next is that the chairperson and the other members, they shall, from the date of supersession, they have to vacate their offices. All properties owned or controlled by the authority shall, until the authority is reconstituted, will be vested with the central government. Okay, so this is the basic idea. Now next question is that every rule and every regulation made under this act shall be laid as soon as maybe after it is made before each house of parliament while it is in session, for a total period of how many days? For the total period of how many days? Okay, I'm getting the answer 30 days. Okay, very good. So yes, it is for 30 days. So every rule and every regulation made under this act shall be laid as soon as be after it is made before each house of parliament. It has to be laid down while it is in session for a total period of 30 days. So this is the broad idea. Now the central government is empowered to issue orders to remove the difficulties in the implementation of the IFSCA Act 2019 only till dash years from the commencement of this act. So IFSCA Act was formed in 2019. This is the Act of 2019. Now the central government can remove the difficulties until, like, what is the timeline that is provided? Yes, very good, 5 years. That shows that you have read the IFSCA Act very thoroughly. This is a very important point, that till 5 years the central government has the power to remove the difficulties as such. Okay, so this is the idea. 5 years is the answer here. Okay, so expiry of 5 years has been written down. Now the number of international exchanges that is operational in the IFSC in Gift City, Gujarat are. So how many number of international exchanges are operational in the International Financial Services Center? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, is it? 2. Very good. There are two. There are the number of international exchanges that is operational in the IFSC in Gift City, Gujarat are 2 only. Okay. So there are 2 international exchanges operational from this zone, from this Gift IFSC. Okay. Next is IFSC units can make payments in Indian rupee currency for which of the following reasons? So the Gift IFSC units, they can use the rupee for their transactions, but for which particular transactions? Because it is said that if you are in the Gift IFSC, you have to use the foreign currency, but for which reasons the rupees can be used? Harshal, we will discuss about that in the coming questions. Okay, and I will show you the snippet from the IFSCA annual report also, the previous annual report. So then you will have the clarity that what is the bifurcation. Okay, so here the answer is administrative and statutory expenses. So if there is any administrative expenses that has to happen, any kind of administrative, like for the administration the money has to be paid, or for the statutory legal expenses also, these kind of expenses can happen in rupees because Gifts IFSC is also present in India. But for the commercial expenses, only the foreign currency should be utilized, right? So this is the idea. So for first and second reasons, the rupees can be used. Okay, so this is the idea. Yes. So IFSC units can make the payment for administrative and statutory expenses in INR. No other INR transactions are permitted. Okay. Now there is, see, in 2 different FAQs, there are different data points. In one FAQ, that is seemingly new because it includes the HSBC also. So that I have seen that it is working in 2023, 2024 also. So there are 2 different FAQs, and in those 2 different FAQs, there are different data points in regarding to how many banks are working and how many insurance firms are working. So according to me, this one is the more recent one because it includes HSBC also. While this data, if you see this data in one of the FAQs, this data is seemingly older one because it does not include the HSBC bank. So I brought the points from both the FAQs, but this one is seemingly older one because this does not include the HSBC bank. Okay, so both the FAQs are on the website, but this one is seemingly the newer one that is named as general, the IFSC GIFT IFSC General. Okay. So now coming to your next point, that is the time to be taken by the unit approval committee to take a decision with respect to the establishment of units in IFSC is dash days from the receipt of proposal of the same. So if you want to open a unit, if you want to open a banking unit, or if you want to open any of the capital market intermediary unit in the GIFT IFSC, so for that you have to take approval. So the time to be taken by the unit approval committee to take a decision with respect to the establishment of a unit in the IFSC is dash days. It is 15 days. It is 15 days of the receipt. Okay. So the unit approval committee has to give the approval or approve with modifications or reject the proposal within 15 days of its receipt. Okay. Next is that the SEZ unit of to be established at the GIFT IFSC has to confirm its acceptance with the terms and conditions of letter of approval to the development commissioner of the SEZ within how many days. So if you have got the approval, if you have got the letter of approval to open your unit in the GIFT IFSC, you have to accept this offer and you have to accept the terms and conditions within how many days? Very good, within 45 days. Okay. So this is the idea that SEZ unit shall be required to confirm its acceptance with the terms and conditions of the letter of approval to the DC, that is the Direct Development Commissioner, that is the Development Commissioner. So to the Development Commissioner you have to send your acceptance within 45 days of receipt of the letter of approval. Okay. Now the security transaction tax with respect to transactions carried out on IFSC exchanges is dash percentage. So if you are transacting in the securities, so how much tax you have to pay if you are transacting on the IFSC exchanges? Very good. The tax is 0%. So for the STT, that is your security transaction tax, as well as commodity transaction tax, that is 0%. Even stamp duty in respect of the transactions carried out on the IFSC exchanges is nil, is 0%. Security transaction tax is a tax imposed on purchase and sale of securities. Commodity transaction tax is a tax levied on exchange traded non-agricultural commodity derivatives in India. So it's not like that you can exchange commodities. It's not like that you can exchange the commodities on the IFSC exchanges, on the international exchanges, but you can exchange the derivatives whose value depend upon the commodities. So derivatives that have the underlying asset that is some commodity. So if you are transacting in the derivatives that have the underlying asset, that is the commodities, so commodities transaction tax is also nil. Okay. Next one is the banks which want to establish IFSC banking units in GIFT IFSC are required to obtain the permission from the Reserve Bank of India as per the provisions of which of the following acts? Is it the Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934? Is it the Banking Regulation Act of 1949, the Credit Information Companies Act, Government Securities Act, or the Payment and Settlement System Act? So it is the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. The RBI Act, it empowers the RBI and it lays down the functions and responsibilities of RBI, and it is providing the authority to the RBI. The Banking Regulation Act is the act that is related to the banking, is related to the bank and the functioning of the bank. Okay. So this is the basic idea, that if the banks which want to establish their IFSC banking units in GIFT IFSC, they are required to obtain the permission from the RBI under the provisions of Banking Regulation Act of 1949. Okay. Now the minimum capital requirement in foreign currency to be maintained at all times of a parent Indian bank which wants to establish an IFSC banking unit in an IFSC is in India is what? So there is the IFSC banking unit. So let's say SBI wants to open a IFSC banking unit. That means SBI wants to open a branch in GIFT IFSC. So how much of the capital requirement is there? And if the SBI wants to open a IFSC banking company, that is, if the SBI wants to open a subsidiary in the IFSC, so what is the capital requirement? So can anyone tell me? So if SBI wants to open the IFSC banking unit, the minimum capital requirement is 20 million. While if the SBI wants to open an IFSC banking company, the minimum capital requirement is how much? Is it 30 million, 40 million, 50 million? Very good. It is 50 million. Okay. So minimum capital requirement for the IFSC banking unit is 20 million. It is 20 million. Okay. It is 20 million. But for the IFSC banking company, the minimum capital requirement is 50 million. Okay. So this is the idea. Now the government of Gujarat is implementing the Gujarat International Finance Tech City Company Limited through which among the following? Is it GUDCL, GMB, GIDC, or 1 or 2, 2 or 3, or all of the above? Yes, it is all of the above. So the government of Gujarat is implementing the GIFTCL through all of these, because these are the different units that are working in different domains. So as you have heard the name of GUDCL, it is working for the urban development, it is working on the urban projects. The maritime board, the GMB, it is working for the maritime, it is working for the handling of the cargo, the privatization and development of the cargo handling in India through the sea routes. Okay. So Gujarat Maritime Board has established itself as maritime leader in port development, privatization and specialized cargo handling in India. Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation, it provides for the industrial development of the state, and it is providing for the industrial backbone of the state. So these three combined, they are implementing the Gujarat International Finance Tech City Company Limited, so that this GIFTCL, it has the understanding and it has the proficiency in all these domains of urban projects, of the cargo handling or the port development, as well as in the industrial development also. Okay. So now IFSCA has recently signed the enhanced multilateral memorandum of understanding with which of the following? Of the dash. Is it World Bank? So the IFSCA has signed this enhanced multilateral memorandum of understanding of which of the following institution? World Bank, IMF, WTO, IFSCO, or FAO? It is of IFSCO. Okay. So recently IFSCA signs the IFSCO's enhanced multilateral MOU. So this multilateral memorandum of understanding concerning consultation and cooperation and the exchange of information is a global benchmark established by IFSCO in 2002 for cross-border cooperation and exchange of information between the securities market regulator. So IFSCO, as you know, that in 2021 there was the information that the IFSCA has become the associate member of the IFSCO. So IFSCO is an organization, it is an international organization that brings together the world's securities regulators, security market regulators are brought together by IFSCO. Now there is the institution that brings together the regulators, the banking regulators together. So the central banks, we can say, the central banks of the world are brought together by which organization? Which international organization brings together the central bank of the world or the central bank of the major countries? So it is, anyone knows? It is Bank of International Settlement. So Bank of International Settlement, it brings together or it provides a platform for the central banks to come and meet with each other. So Bank of International Settlement is also known as the banker of the central bank of the central banks. Okay. Similarly, IFSCO is the platform. IFSCA is providing the platform for the securities regulators to come together. Okay. So this is the idea. Now Global Financial Center Index was for the first time published in the year. The Global Financial Centers Index was for the first time published in which of the year? Which of the following year? 2015, 2007, 2018, 1981, 2005. It was first published for the first time in 2007. Okay. So the Global Financial Centers Index is a ranking of the competitiveness of the financial centers based on over 29,000 financial center assessments, and the first index was published in March 2007. It has been jointly published twice per year by ZN Group in London and the China Development Institute in Shenzhen since 2015. Okay. So the first index was published in the year in March 2007. Okay. And it has been brought twice since 2015 every year. So this is the idea. Now which financial center secured the top rank in the GFCI 36 September 2024? So which of the financial center has secured the top rank in the Global Financial Center Index that was released recently. So here the answer is B. That is New York. So yes, correct. The New York leads the index with London coming at the second place. Hong Kong has taken over the Singapore to regain the third position. Okay. Yes. So what is the rank of Gift City Gujarat in the Global Financial Centers Index September 2024? So what is the rank of Gift City Gujarat? It is 52nd. Very good. So Gift City has the rank of 52nd. Okay. So at the top there is New York, then there is London, then there is Hong Kong, Singapore, and San Francisco. Then at the 52nd rank there is the Gift City Gujarat. At 54th there is Mumbai. Then at 68th there is New Delhi. Okay. So this is the idea. Now the number of international bullion exchanges present in the GIFT IFSC is or are how many? How many international bullion exchanges do we have? We have only one international bullion exchange in GIFT IFSC. Okay. So here you can see that the stock exchanges, we have two international stock exchanges. This is as per your IFSCA annual report of the last year. Okay. So as on March 31st, 2023, so for the financial year 2022-23, this as per the annual report, there are two international stock exchanges operational in IFSC. That is your India International Exchange Limited and the NSE IFSC Limited, and one bullion exchange is there, that is India International Bullion Exchange. Okay. Next is clearing corporations. There are two clearing corporations. Operational in IFSC, namely India International Clearing Corporation Limited and the NSE IFSC in Clearing Corporation Limited. Depository, we have only one depository in the IFSC, that is your India International Depository. So stock exchanges, they provide you a platform for exchanging the stock, for trading in the stock. Clearing corporation, they clear your trade, they settle your trade. Depositories, they hold your securities in the demat form. So your bonds, your shares are in the demat form, so that are held by the depositories. In India, we have only two depositories, that is the NSDL and the CDSL. Okay. And in the IFSC, we only have one depository, that is your India International Depository Limited. Okay, I hope this is clear. Stock exchanges, they provide you a platform to trade in the stocks, to trade in the securities. Clearing corporation, they settle your trade, they clear or they settle your trade, and depositories, they hold your securities in the demat form. So this is the idea. Now there are 8 depository participants, 5 custodians, 3 debenture trustees, 6 investment advisors, 1 IBU. This is as per the annual report of 2022-23. There is no current information that I have right now, but this is as per the authentic source, that was your annual report of the last year. Now coming to the next question, that which among the following agencies of the Government of India is mandated to carry out the security audit of the website of IFSCA as per the regulations of the authority? So which of the following agencies has been mandated with such a task? So is it National Cybercrime Reporting Agency or what? So it is the India Computer Emergency Response Team, that is CERTIN, that is mandated with such a task of security audit of the website of the IFSCA. Okay. So the basic idea is that the website shall undergo a security audit. The website shall undergo a security audit from empaneled agencies of the CERTIN. Next is the chairperson and a member shall hold office for a term of -years from the date on which he enters upon his office, and he provided that no person shall hold office as a chairperson after he has attained the age of what? Years, or a whole time member after he has attained the age of 62 years. Okay. So that is, I will see the bulletin, Mr. QWERTY, and I will comment in the comment section. Okay. So now, 3 years, the chairperson or the member, they shall hold the office for a term of 3 years, and the chairperson, after he has attained the age of 65 years, like provided no person shall hold the office as a chairperson after they have attained the age of 65 years, and for the members, for the whole time members, the age attained should be up to 62 years for holding the position. Okay, so this is the idea, that C is the right answer here. Okay, so now the next one is that the performance review committee shall make the review under subsection 1 at least once in every financial year and submit a report of its finding to the authority, which shall forward a copy to the central government, okay, within a period of 3 months. So authority shall constitute, the authority, that is IFSCA, shall constitute a performance review committee consisting of at least dash members of the authority. So performance review committee reviews the performance of the authority, and at least how many members of the authority should be in this committee. So at least 2 members of the authority to review the functioning of the authority. So performance review committee, it reviews the functioning of the authority, and at least 2 members of the authority should be in this performance review committee. Okay, so the answer is 2 here. So the authority shall constitute a performance review committee consisting of at least 2 members of the authority to review the functioning of the authority. So this performance review committee, it reviews the functioning of the authority only. The parent bank shall provide necessary capital for the IBC subject to a minimum of USD how many millions? This we have discussed. 50 million. Okay. The answer here is yes, 50 million. So the parent bank shall provide necessary capital for the IFSC banking company subject to a minimum of USD 50 million. So now banks can establish, like this is the idea regarding the Indian banks, and the parent bank, like if it is a IBU, the minimum capital requirement is $20 million, but if it is a IBC, the minimum capital requirement is 50 millions. Okay. Next is any Indian recognized stock exchange or any recognized stock exchange of a foreign jurisdiction can form a subsidiary to provide the services, of course, in an IFSC, wherein at least 51% of the stake is held by the exchange and remaining share capital may be offered to any other person. Minimum net worth equivalent to INR dash crores is required initially, which should enhance to INR 100 crores over the period of 3 years. So simply any Indian recognized stock exchange or any recognized stock exchange of foreign jurisdiction also, they can form a subsidiary to provide the services of the stock exchange in the IFSC. Okay, like the NSE has opened its subsidiary in the IFSC. Okay, as a stock exchange. So what is the initial minimum net worth that is required? That is 25. Initial is, as per me, it is 25 crores. Okay. So initial is the 25 crores that has to be increased in the 3-year period to 100 crores. For the depository also, the initial is 25 crores that has to be increased to 100 crores in the meantime, in the coming 3 years. Okay. Now the next one is that what is the minimum net worth requirement equivalent, like for the clearing corporation. For the clearing corporation, the minimum net worth requirement is INR dash crores that is required initially, which should enhance to INR dash crores over a period of 3 years from the date of approval. For clearing corporation, it is, anyone who can give me the answer here? No one? It is 50 and 300. Okay. So here the minimum net worth requirement for equivalent to 50 crores, that is the initial net worth requirement, which should enhance to 300 crores over a 3-year period from the date of approval. Okay. An asset management company of a mutual An asset management company of a mutual fund. So this is as per the FAQs. Like I have taken the snippet from the FAQs. Okay, so as per the FAQs, this is what they have provided. Okay, so as per the FAQs of the capital market, this is what the FAQs has provided the information. An asset management company of a mutual fund operating in the IFSC should have a net worth of not less than USD dash million, which should be increased to USD 10 millions within 3 years of commencement. Now in the FAQs, that statement is written. So I have taken the snippets directly from there so that there is no mistake from my end in the copy pasting. So rather than that, I have provided you the snippets from the FAQs. So they have written it in that form only. Okay. So an asset management company of a mutual fund operating in the IFSC should have a net worth of not less than USD 2 million, which shall be increased to USD 10 million within 3 years of commencement. So this is also taken from the FAQs from your capital market. Okay, so an asset management company of a mutual fund operating in the IFSC should have a net worth of not less than USD 2 million. Okay. Now coming to the next question, kindly try to answer this question. Still, if you have any confusion in any of the numbers we can see, or in any of the data, if you have the confusion and if you think that it has been updated, so do tell me in the comment section and I will recheck it and I will reply to that. Okay, and so other students can also check, but as per my information I have taken the data from the FAQs, so directly the snippets has been provided to you, so there is no copy paste mistake that can happen, right? Because the snippets are there, not the handwritten material or not the written material or such. Okay, so which of the following statements is incorrect regarding the tax incentives? So tax holiday for 10 consecutive years out of block of 15 years in respect of income from business carried on in IFSC. So this seems correct, that for 10 consecutive years out of the 15-year block, there is the tax holiday that is provided. The MAT, that is the minimum alternate tax or the alternate minimum tax, is at 9% for the old regime, and the MAT is not applicable to companies in IFSC opting for new tax regime. The tax on capital gains is nil. The GST on services nil. Tax on interest paid to non-resident on long-term bonds or rupee denominated bonds is 4%. Okay. So this is the idea. So B statement was wrong because here it should be 9%. So minimum alternate tax is what? Minimum alternate tax is a provision in the direct tax law to limit the tax exemptions. So if you remember the old regime, in the old regime, there are many of the deductions that you can claim. Okay, for your education loan, for your home loan, for your house rent allowance, you can claim the deductions. Similarly, the deductions can be claimed by the big corporations also, because in the old regime there is the provision of deductions. So minimum alternate tax is a provision in direct tax laws to limit the tax exemptions availed by the companies so that they pay at least a minimum amount of corporate tax to the government. So if they are having the deductions and if their tax is falling below 9%, they at least have to pay 9% of minimum alternate tax. Either they are paying 10%, 11%, 15% of the tax, but if the tax is falling below 9% in the old regime, as per the deductions, the tax is falling below 9%, so they have to pay this alternate tax that is up to 9% they have to pay. Okay, next is try to answer this question, that what is the difference between the IBC and IPO. So read the statement very, very carefully and then try to answer this question. So an IBO is licensed by the authority to operate as a subsidiary. So it is the IFSC banking unit. So banking units, they are not the subsidiaries. The IBC, it is not a branch. So the answer here is not A. I knew that you will read the statement and you will get confused and you will mark A only. The answer is IBO. Does it have different things it can do? The answer is B here. Simply IBC. The basic difference between IBC and IBU is that IBC operates as a subsidiary company of the parent bank, while the IBU functions as the branch of the parent bank. So that is the main difference between the IBC and IBU, right? Yes. So B is the right answer here. IBC, if you understand the definition, IBC means a banking unit licensed or permitted by the authority to operate in the IFSC as a subsidiary company of the parent bank, while the IFSC banking unit or IBU means a banking unit licensed or permitted by the authority to operate in an IFSC as a branch of the parent bank. So here the basic distinction was being asked as on the definition. Okay, so which of the following statement accurately describes the distinction between the IFSC banking company or IFSC banking unit? So basic distinction is in their definitions that I hope you will remember. Banking company is your subsidiary company. Banking unit is your parent, branch of the parent bank. Okay. So now, under which scheme individuals who are residents in India are permitted to open, hold and maintain accounts in specified foreign currency with the IFSC banking unit for transactions connected with or arising from permissible current or capital account transactions? So the Reserve Bank of India has allowed under which scheme to deposit your money in the foreign currency accounts for your investment or for your expenditure for the permissible current or capital account transactions. So under which scheme this is allowed? See, I will provide you a very good idea that when you read the question and you know that you know the answer, do not ever make a mistake in reading the options. Like, it is not liberalized management scheme, it is liberalized remittance scheme. Okay, yes. So always be very specific and always read the options very carefully, otherwise even after knowing you will be losing the marks, and that is like even 1 mark will matter a lot when the results come. Okay, so liberalized remittance scheme is the answer. Yes. So what is the limit here? What is the limit under the liberalized remittance scheme? So it is USD 2.5, USD 2,50,000. So that is the limit of the LRS per financial year. When was this liberalized remittance scheme introduced? Anyone knows? When was this LRS introduced? In which year it was introduced? It was introduced in which year? Very good. It was introduced in 2004. Okay. So LRS, it is the liberalized remittance scheme under which the individuals, they can remit, they can send the funds for the permissible current and capital account transactions within the limit of USD 2,50,000 in one financial year, and this scheme was introduced in Feb 2004. Okay. Now, an investment banker acting as an underwriter shall enter into an agreement with the issuer of securities on whose behalf it is acting as an underwriter, which shall have the understanding in relation to amount of underwriting obligations and such and such. At any point of time, the total underwriting obligations under all the agreements shall not exceed dash times of the net worth of the investment banker. Very good, Abhishek. It is 20 times. The answer is 20 times. So the total underwriting obligations of the investment banker shall not exceed 20 times the net worth of the investment banker. Okay. So this is the answer here. Next is the authority may, in the interest of development and regulation of the financial services in IFSC, relax strict enforcement of any requirements of these regulations. For seeking relaxations, the applicant giving details and the grounds on which such relaxation has been sought shall be filed with the authority along with the non-refundable fee of how much? So if you want relaxation, like you are saying that I am not able to complete my net worth, I will complete my net worth by next year. So if you want the relaxation, if you are giving the correct reason, if you are giving the valid reasons, you can get the relaxation. But for asking for such relaxations, you also have to give a fee, that is USD 1,500. Very good. Okay. So such non-refundable fee is USD 1,500. Next is, what is the meaning of clearing member? what is the definition of clearing member in the IFSC? So in the IFSC, what is the meaning of clearing member? So I hope you know about the depositories, you know about the stock exchange and the clearing corporation. Under the clearing corporation, there are the intermediaries that are working, that are the clearing members. Under the depositories, there are the intermediaries that are working, that is known as depository participants, and there are also the stock brokers that are working in the stock exchanges. Now one more thing, that the depositories, the stock exchanges and the clearing corporation, they are the market infrastructure institutions that are handling the infrastructure of the whole of the market. Okay, yes. So here role, the question is about a role of the clearing member. Here it is not asking you that it is what, it is asking you about the role of the clearing member. So read the question very specifically. The D is also correct, but the D is not what the question is asking. Even the E is correct. So which should be the answer? The role has been asked. So the role, the clearing member has the rights for clearing and settling transactions within a recognized clearing corporation. This is the role of the clearing member. Clearing member is the intermediary under the clearing corporation. The clearing member has the role to clear and settle the transactions within a clearing corporation. Okay. Yes. So always read the question very, very specifically. So clearing member means a person having clearing and settlement rights in any recognized clearing corporation. Of course, in the capital market intermediaries regulations, it is clear that his clearing member has been named. So clearing member is a capital market intermediary. But what is the role? So that is the role. Okay. So now a custodian is a person or entity that is engaged in providing the custodial services. Which among the following activities is not included in the custodial services? Which among the following activities is not included in custodial services? So that you have to tell me. So he is your custodian. He is your custodian, that is maintaining your accounts, that is collecting the benefits on your behalf, that is informing the clients about the issuer actions, or that is like underwriting the activities, like undertaking the activities related to the issuance of the depository receipts. But the credit worthiness is assessed by the credit rating agency. The custodian has no work of assessing the credit worthiness. Okay. So C is not under the purview of the custodian. C is not under the purview of the custodian. So this is the functions of the custodial. So custodian undertakes the custodial services, that is maintaining the accounts of such financial products, collecting the benefits on your behalf, keeping the client informed of the actions that is taken by the issuer of some securities, maintaining and reconciling the record of the services, undertaking the activities relating to the issuance of depository receipts. So which among the following intermediary is not included in the capital market intermediaries regulations of 2021 as per the amendment in the later years? So there are the capital market intermediaries. Which of these is not a capital market intermediary? Which of these is not a capital market intermediary? Very good. The portfolio managers is not one of the capital market intermediary, because there was like the broker dealers, clearing members, depository participants, investment bankers. These all are the categories of intermediaries. They shall obtain the certificate of registration from the authority. But from these categories of intermediaries, there is the omission that has happened of the portfolio managers. So portfolio managers have been omitted from here. Okay. So this is the idea. Now custodians, ninth is your ant. So with the custodians, there is the addition that has happened of distributors also. Okay. So distributors have been added and the portfolio managers have been deleted. Next is if a registered intermediary operating as a branch in an international financial service center undergoes a change in ownership or control, they must inform the regulatory authority and any relevant market institution within how many days? So if you're registered intermediary is your clearing members. So there are the market infrastructure institutions, that is your stock exchanges, your clearing operation depositories. Then with them there are the intermediaries. Intermediaries are the stock brokers, the clearing members, the depository participants. Okay. So the intermediaries, if they are going through any change in ownership or control, they must inform the regulatory authority, that is IFSCA, and any relevant market institution within 15 days. Okay, within 15 days of any direct or indirect change in control of the intermediary. Now, under the capital market intermediaries regulations, an entity must have some net worth requirements, right? So the capital market intermediaries, they also need to have some net worth requirement. So as an investment advisor, an entity incorporated in India must have a minimum USD of how much, and for foreign entities, it must have minimum USD of how much. So the answer here is investment advisor. They are the capital market intermediary. Their net worth requirement is how much for the, if it is incorporated, like if it is an entity incorporated in India, and if it is a foreign entity and it wants to be investment advisor in the IFSC, how much is the capital requirement, net worth requirement, sorry, 0.5 million and 1 million. Very good. Okay, so the investment advisor, the minimum net worth requirement for the entities incorporated in India, the minimum net worth requirement is USD 0.5 million. And for foreign entities, if they want to establish their investment advisor in India, in IFSC, sorry, they require the USD 1 million. Okay. Next is under capital market intermediaries regulations, there are 4 institutions that have the right to take such action as deemed fit, which can lead to suspension of a capital market intermediary. Which among the following institutions is not included to take such actions? So you can suspend the capital market intermediary. This power is not with which of the following institutions? So IFSCA has this power of suspension, stock exchanges has the power of suspension, clearing corporation also has the power of suspension, depositories also, but the credit rating agency does not have this power. Okay. So the credit rating agency does not have this power. So the authority has the power of suspension or cancellation of registration. The recognized stock exchange has the power of suspension in regards to the stock brokers or dealers. Recognized clearing corporation has the power of suspension in regards to the registered clearing members of this particular recognized clearing corporation. The recognized depository has the power of suspension with the registered depository participant. Okay, so this is the idea. Now coming to the next question, try to answer this question. So there are recently there is the listing norms that were released under the regulations. Under the IFSCA regulations, there are the listing regulations that have been released. So listing means that you are listing your securities in the stock exchanges. So an issuer shall be eligible to make an initial public offer of specified securities only if which of the following conditions are being met? Very good, 1 and 3. The issuer has an operating revenue based on consolidated audited accounts of at least USD 20 million in the last financial year or averaged over the last 3 financial year. So remember 3 financial year, averaged over the last 3 financial year. The issuer has a post-issue market capitalization of how much? USD. If it is not USD 35, how much is it? 25. Very good, 25 million. So the post-issue market capitalizations should be USD 25 million. It qualifies under any other eligibility criteria specified by the authority. So first and third is correct. The second one is wrong, and that's why your answer is only 1 and 3. Okay. So this is the eligibility criteria for the initial public offer. When the issue size is more than USD 50 million, the authority may provide feedback or observations within how many working days? So if the issue size is the huge issue size, there is the feedback or the observation that can be provided by the authority, that is to be provided by the authority within. This is directly from the listing norms. So I have taken the whole snippet again. 21 days. So feedback, the feedback or the observation, it is to be provided within 21 days. So where the size of the proposal issue is more than USD 50 million, the authority may issue observations, if any, within 21 working days from the later of the following dates. Okay. So next is, as per IFSCA Listing Regulation 2024, pre-issue shareholding of promoters and controlling shareholders of the issuer shall be locked up for a period of how many days? So like before the issue is happening in the stock exchanges, before that there are the promoters of the company that have established this company. So they will have to, after the issue of the shares, after the issue of the securities, or after the issue of the specified securities, the promoters or the controlling shareholders, they are not eligible for selling their shares or selling their securities. So their shares and such will be locked up for a period of 180 days. Okay, for a period of 180 days. So this is the idea, that the pre-issue shareholding of promoters and controlling shareholders of the issuer shall be locked up for a period of 180 days from the date of allotment in the IPO, so that the promoters and the controlling shareholders, they do not start leaving that company, because if they start leaving that company in the initial phase only, so it provides a volatility, like it provides the confusion, and it creates the confusion in the market in regards to this particular share or this particular company. Okay. Now, what is the minimum net worth requirement for a regular payment service provider at the time of commencing the operations? So there is the regular payment service provider, like there is the payment service provider norms or the regulations that were released by the IFSCA. So as per the regulations, what is the minimum net worth requirement for a regular payment service provider at the commencement of the operations, when it is just commencing the operations, when it is just commencing the operations? Yes, it is 1 lakh USD. So a regular payment service provider shall have a minimum net worth of USD 1 lakh on the date of commencement of operations. A regular payment service provider shall achieve a minimum net worth of USD 2 lakh by the end of third financial year. Significant payment service provider, that is a big payment service provider, that should have a minimum net worth of 2,50,000 USD in the just starting, and after the 3 years, within 90 days, within 90 days of the date of being so designated by the authority. So within 90 days, like a payment service provider has been designated as a significant payment service provider. So within 90 days, they must have a minimum net worth of USD 2,50,000, and within a period of like 3 years, that is by the end of the third financial year, they must attain the minimum net worth of USD 5 lakh. So this is very important, because this is from the recent regulations of the payment services. So as per the recent regulation of the payment services regulation, this is the differentiation or distinction between the regular payment service provider or the significant payment service provider. So now coming to the next question, depository receipt means a negotiable financial instrument representing the underlying securities of an issuer in another jurisdiction. The listing of depository receipts shall be permitted only if the subscription in the offer is not less than USD how much, or any other amount as may be specified by the authority. So what is the answer here? So again, this is a question from the listing norms. Okay, so it is 700,000. Very good. So the issue of depository receipts shall be of the size not less than USD 700,000. Okay. Now the payment service provider shall ensure compliance with the anti-money laundering, countering the terrorist financing, and the Know Your Customer guidelines and other provisions of Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002. And the rules made thereunder, including any statutory or legal modification or re-enactment. For how many years the payment service provider shall maintain, as per these rules and regulations, for how many years the payment service provider shall maintain a log of all the transactions that have been undertaken. So for at least 5 years, 10 years, at least 20 years, at least 40 years, or at least 30 years. So it is at least 10 years. For at least 10 years, the log has to be maintained. So payment service provider shall maintain a log for all the transactions undertaken for at least 10 years. Okay. Next is which. So there was a recent circular that was released in regards to the directions in regards to the credit rating agency. So which system must be used by credit rating agencies to submit registration application with IFSCA? So as per the recent circular, which of the portal or which of the system it is through which the credit rating agency can submit their registration application with IFSCA? See, the regulations or circulars, they are not mentioned in your syllabus, but just the recent circulars or the recent regulations, just the recent ones that are released in past 3 months, 6 months. So those regulations and those circulars you can focus on. Okay. Yes, single window IT system. So which of the answer it is? E. Very good. So which system must be used by credit rating agency to submit registration application with IFSCA? So it is SWIFT system. Okay. So that is the IFSCA has operationalized the single window IT system, that is SWIFT system, through which the CRAs can submit all the registration applications online. Okay. So the application shall be filed through the SWIFT system. So there are some exceptions under the SWIFT system. So activities for which online application on the SWIFTs has not yet been enabled. So such as bookkeeping, accounting, taxation and such. So you can read the exceptions. Okay. Now coming to the next question. So this is again from the CRA master direction or the circular. So which of the, it was from the master circular of the CRA. So which of the following statement regarding the composition of board of directors of the CRA is or are correct? So which of the following statements are correct in regards to the composition of board of directors? So the board shall have at least 1/3 of total strength as independent directors. The board shall comprise of not less than 4 directors. The majority of members of the board of directors shall have sufficient expertise in financial services. So this seems correct, because if you are a credit rating agency, you must have some expertise in the financial services. The board must have 1/3 of the independent directors. So this is also correct. First and third statements are correct. The second one is wrong, because the board shall comprise of not less than 3 directors. It is not 4, it is 3. Okay. Now coming to the next question. So which of the following statements, yes, so which of the following statement accurately describe the role and function of the global administrative office established by a parent bank in an IFSC? So try to answer this question. So which of the following is correct? See, the banking regulations, they are a little important, because from the in the previous year there was the question from the banking regulation. So yes, E is the right answer. GAO, that is the Global Administrative Office, manages, administers and coordinates operations of the parent bank or any group entities both within and outside the IFSC, and provides support services subject to relevant regulatory directions. So here the answer is E actually. So see, parent bank may set up the representative office or the global administrative office in the IFSC under a suitable mechanism, okay, subject to such conditions as may be specified by the authority. So representative office means a financial institution that is set up by the parent bank in the IFSC for undertaking. So representative office is being established by the parent bank in IFSC for undertaking any one or more of the following activities, that is marketing of the financial products of the parent bank, collection of data, carrying out of the outreach operations to connect with more and more of the investors and such. Global Administrative Office means a financial institution that is set up by the parent bank in IFSC for undertaking any one or more of the following activities, that is managing, administering, coordinating operations of the parent bank or any of the group entities, that is the entities that are connected with the parent bank either in IFSC or outside IFSC, providing support services to parent bank or any of the group entities for execution of the permitted activities either in IFSC or outside IFSC. So have the basic idea about the representative office and the global administrative office. Okay. Now coming to the next question, that is the question number 58. So we are towards the end of the session, just a few questions more, 3 questions more to go. So now an IIO, that is your International Financial Service Center Insurance Office. So IFSC Insurance Office is your IIO. So an IIO, while dealing with any bank in relation to an investment, shall ensure that the bank follows certain criteria. Which of the following is or are incorrect criteria? So which of the following is or are incorrect criteria? So has operation. The bank has operations in 5 or more countries. The bank enjoys rating levels of 1 or 2 from the banking regulator of the home country under the CAMELS, that is capital adequacy, asset quality management, earnings, liquidity, sensitivity framework. Has total assets of US dollar 200 billion. All are correct? Okay. So Shruti has given the right answer, E only. The third one is wrong. The total assets of $100 billion only. Okay. So here, first of all, the International Financial Service Center Authority regulations were released for the investment by the IFSC Insurance Office. So an IIO may invest not more than 5% of the assets referred by value in a company or other body corporate, as well as IIO, while dealing with any bank in relation to the investment, shall ensure that the bank has operations in 5 or more countries, enjoy rating level 1 or 2, enjoy the rating, that is level 1 or 2. So level 1 means scale of 1 implies that the bank exhibit a robust performance in the capital adequacy, has adequate capital, has assets under the asset management is very good, the management capability of the company, the bank is very good, earnings, profitable company, liquidity, it has liquid money with itself, sensitivity, that it is less sensitive to the risk around. Okay, so a scale of 1 implies that a bank exhibit a robust performance, is sound and complies with the risk management practices. A scale of 2 means that the institution is financially sound with moderate weakness present. So scale 1 and 2 means 1 is very good banks, 2 is good banks. Okay, so the enjoy rating. So the IIO, while dealing with any bank in relation to an investment, shall ensure that the bank has operations in 5 or more countries and enjoy the rating of 1 or 2 from the banking regulator of the home country under the CAMELS. Has total assets of US dollar 100 billion. Okay. Audited financial information of the issuer for at least last dash financial years shall be disclosed in the offer document. So whenever you are having a initial public offering, or whenever there is the offer that is being made, there is an offer document that has to be prepared. So audited financial information of the issuer for at least how many financial years should be provided. So audited financial information means that the financial information, the issuer has to present its financial information so that the investors that want to invest in this company come to know that, okay, what is the financial background, financial health of this particular company. So audited financial information of the issuer for at least last 3 financial years shall be disclosed in the offer document, provided that where issuer has been in existence for less than 3 years, audited financial information shall be provided for such period of existence. Like let's say a company was established last year, so from the last year till now, the audited balance sheet, or audited financial information has to be provided. Otherwise, if the entity is for a long period, is in existence for a long period, so that is previous 3 financial years audited information has to be provided. Okay, so 3 and 3 is the right answer. So now coming to the last question. So this is your last question for today. And if you find I have taken the screenshots, I have taken, not screenshot, I have taken the snippets from the original document. So I have not taken the data from any of the fake websites or something. So I've taken the data from the original website. Still, if you find that the data is like some new data has come up or such, you can comment down below, and I will research on it and I will give you the final answer. That okay, if you have found some different links, so you can share with me in the comment section, or you can tell me the details so that I can research about it. But I have taken the data from the FAQs or from the original documents of the regulations. Okay, so this is the idea. Now here, under the capital market intermediaries regulations, an entity must have some net worth requirements. As debenture trustee, an entity incorporated in India must have the minimum net worth of 1.5 million, and for foreign entities it must have the minimum net worth of 3 million. Actually, Tekken Games, the problem is that I do not have the access to the Telegram channel for the uploading. It is done by the support team, and the support team has finished working by 6 p.m. So I will surely share the PDF with the team by just now, but they will be able to share the PDF with you by tomorrow morning. Okay, so you will get the PDF by tomorrow morning. So this is the data points about net worth. The net worth requirements are very important. So just have the brief overview of the net worth requirement. So this is it for today. Any confusion anyone has? Any confusion anyone has? You are most welcome, Nilesh. You are most welcome, Tekken Games. Any confusion anyone? You're most welcome, Vijeta, Krishna. So thank you everyone. I can see that there is no confusion. So this is it for today. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. You're most welcome, Mr. QWERTY and Ashutosh. And I'm asking you to share if you have any updates, you can share in the comment section. I will surely recheck it, and by tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning, I will give you the final answer that okay, which data you have to follow, if there is any changes that has happened. But I have taken the data from the original websites, from the FAQs or from the regulations, the original regulations of the IFSCA. Okay, so this is the recent one I could found, and the bulletins I will check. Okay, the regulations, they are the most recent one. I have taken the data from the listing regulations from the IIO regulations. So I have gone to the, see what you can do, IFSCA regulations. If you go type this IFSCA regulations in the Google, you directly go to the page of IFSCA regulations, and they have mentioned the consolidated regulations and such. So they are the most recent ones that they have released. So from there I have taken the data. Okay, Rohan, I am not aware about that. I was preparing this PPT, so I didn't get the time to talk to him. Difference between trustee, so debenture trustee and custodians. Custodians, they take care of the overall custodial services, while the debenture trustees, they are particularly for the benefit of the investors in regards to debentures. So custodians, they are taking care of your accounts, they are taking care of your assets, they are taking care of your different securities. So they are maintaining your different accounts and your different securities. Debenture trustees are particularly to protect your interest when it comes to debentures. Okay, so I hope this is clear, Mr. QWERTY. Regulations, the data as per me, it is from the original websites. So the data is the most recent one. Still, if you want to to specify some data, you can specify it in the comment section. Okay, then I can see that there is no more queries. So thank you very much everyone for joining. I hope you liked the session, and all the very best from your examination perspective. It is just around the corner, so revise and revise. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for joining.